Japa circle, Hare Krishna. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes, since no one is more powerful than or equal to the energy of the Supreme Lord, no one's name can be as powerful as that of the Lord. By chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all the stipulated energy synchronized from all sources. Therefore, one should not equalize the supreme holy name of the Lord with any other name. I'll just read one more time and please consider. By chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all the stipulated energy synchronized from all sources. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to add anything extra. Only thing that is needed is a focus and with devotion on the Mahamantra, which is directly the Lord himself. Apara samsritim goran yannama vivishogrenan tata sadyo vimucheta yabhibheti swayam bhayam. And just by that activity alone, with nothing else added, all the stipulated energies become available, means that Krishna will arrange everything completely. Not only that, it's an act of devotion to use the tongue to enunciate the syllables in the Lord's name. And this is mentioned as seva, or service to the Lord, to take the effort to pronounce his name, to say it again and again. He takes that as service. That's evidence for that is given in the Padma Purana. Atashi Krishna namadi na bhaved graimindriye sevan mukhi jivado swayameva spuratyada. That the service of chanting the holy name of the Lord with one's tongue is the beginning of all yoga. And so we can remember also that when we're chanting the holy name, we're serving. And finally, all speech that takes place, that when we make any sound, when we pronounce a word, there's a progression we're not even aware of that's described in the Bhagavatam. That's the sound vibration comes as a desire to say something, and it happens at a very subtle level. It's called para, and it happens in the Muladhara chakra. And then it rises, says the Bhagavatam, to the conception in the mind to say that thing. And that's in the Manipur chakra. It rises up so quickly we don't even notice it. It's just happening simultaneously. There's a progression. And then the Madhyama chakra, there's a recognition of that syllable or a combination of syllables by the intellect, and then what's called vikari vak, or the sound vibration that's vocalized by the tongue and voice box, happens at the Vishuddha chakra. So progressively higher chakras, the sound moves up, it manifests, and then we enunciate it. So every word that we say has an effect. And what is the effect? It repeats in our mind. We hear the sound, other people hear the sound, it goes out in the environment, it has some reaction. So when we deliberately chant the Mahamantra, which is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we're gathering our intention and then deliberately with devotion saying the mantra, which is non-different from the Lord, and then it helps to rearrange all of the chakras. Everything that we're doing becomes justified in the way that you justify words on a page. They become organized correctly. So our thought processes and our life airs, everything, all the stipulated energies become available to those who chant the holy name. It's a science. And this great science of mantra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made available to the world. And he told everybody, don't worry about anything else. This is the pinnacle of all practices. So we take the opportunity now to just repeat and hear the holy name and remember that everything that we're ever able to acquire as spiritual or material paraphernalia comes from this chanting process. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. We'll start with saying the Panchatattva Mahamantra 3 times, and then we'll go into the Mahamantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, 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 Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
So we know from the Srimad Bhagavatam that Brahma, who's deputed agent from Krishna to create the world, does so by mantra. He puts mantras, he has prescribed mantras. Those mantras are already available to him. And then he recreates the universe using mantra. So sound is creative, and the world around us as tatastha jivas means that we're flexible. We can move from material energy to spiritual energy, or whichever direction we decide, and we're very vulnerable and impressionable. So it's important to know that the world's designed to fulfill our desires. So nothing inordinate is happening to us. It's a response to the way that we're interacting with the world. So the idea is that we are creating our world, especially through sound, just as Brahma creates the universe. We also use our creative power and express our desires through sound vibration. And we express our desires with our voice. Baby cries in a certain way, it makes a sound vibration. Human beings, according to the way they've been cultured and their modes of material nature, they express their desires through their voice. There's certain kinds of songs, poetry, music, ways of expressing. And it's all a matter of the subtle desires within the chitta, the subtle mind of the jiva that are being expressed, they're being manifested outwardly in the world. So all manifestations are happening by the element of sound in this world. So in the science of mantra, we're going to the root cause of the world and the way our world is formed. And then we're very deliberately following the direction of the Supreme. And this is given through the parampara. It's so clear in the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he brought it out through his own teacher, Srila Ishvara Puri, who instructed him upon initiation into the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, Kalaunas devanas devadas deva gatiranyata, that you don't have to look anywhere else. It's all here. He said it 3 times. It's in the holy name. It's in the holy name, in the holy name, by chanting, chanting, chanting. Then you'll attain the perfection of your life, of yoga. Everything else comes from that. So the process of chanting japa is extremely powerful. And the more that we're able to focus on the devotional chanting, the more our love for Krishna manifests in our heart. And you can feel it even in one session of chanting. If you actually invest your emotion that I'm very fallen, I need shelter, Krishna, you're so kind, the mood of gratitude is being manifest out through your voice in chanting the holy names, then, as I mentioned in the beginning, all stipulated energies are manifest. I'll just read the sentence one more time. We'll take some reflections. But Prabhupada writes, by chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all these stipulated energies synchronized from all sources. So everything becomes perfectly manifest. And if we can focus our desire on advancing spiritually and then chant the holy name with that intention, then everything manifests in our life. All spiritual paraphernalia, all the mentorship, all the enthusiasm, whatever is necessary will be manifest in our lives. Om Tat Sat. Now let's take a few reflections from anything we discussed this morning or any of your realizations from your chanting session.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Shreya.
So I was thinking about a few things this week, one of which was just the power of showing up because when you're chanting, sometimes it's easy to get discouraged because you're not doing as good as you like. But like when you remember that you're praying to the supreme lover who like loves you more than anything, and his consort who's able to love the supreme lover, like, which is really insane, and how much love there is on the other side. So even if you're not like getting completely there, just showing up every single day for your rounds and telling Krishna that you care by being there, it's just so powerful within itself. And it was making me think about how chanting is a win-win situation. Even if you don't focus, Sankirtan Parihasamya, Stobam Hiranam Evava, like it doesn't matter how you chant, like there's still benefit. And then if you chant with devotion, then you get Krishna Prem. So it's like a win-win situation either way, which is so different from everything else in this world. And I like was realizing that I have no good reason not to focus, because all the plans that I do make, like the to-do list I make in my head and everything that I lament about in the past, like it's kind of irrelevant in my actual life as well. So why bring it into chanting? So it's just like, because no matter what plan I make, Krishna is going to have his own plan either way. So that's just a few things I've been thinking about.
That was a few fantastic things. Thank you very much. I just one note about any teacher knows that someone, a student who has perfect attendance in class becomes noticed. Like, wow, this person always shows up. And I like the statement you made, no reason not to focus. Like the mind's so unreasonable that it says, well, why should I? And it's like, hey, you have no reason not to. Everything good is in this for you. Thank you so much, Shreya. That was very powerful condensation of realizations. Sandeep.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I like the point, Maharaj, when you said that we are creating our word through our voice or the words we speak. And that's what I can resonate. For example, whenever I'm angry or when I'm not in good mood, actually that is the word which I create around me and I get influenced by that. So that resonated me and I need to practice that.
Nice. Yes, it comes out. Although I couldn't imagine you in a bad mood. Hare Krishna. Ramakrishna Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev. I was wondering, like, in the whole world, like everybody is looking for best offer, best deals, best route. And if we see like Mahaprabhu and all Guru Parampara Mercy, so this is like best offer. Like the more we distribute it, the more we get it. Just start to share. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Boy, yeah, like they say in India, cheap and best. I mean, how expensive is it to chant the holy name and you get everything in return? That's nice. Thank you very much. Shukeshri, and then Prema and Premi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I was just thinking as you were saying that, the sound vibration and how we call out for Krishna. I was remembering that when I was doing my master's, we worked on infant cry analysis. So when the kid cries, when the infant cries, we decide whether depending on the pitch and the amplitude of the sound, the needs are different, if it's for a diaper change or hunger and things like that. So we can find that out. And I was just thinking that every day I chant, but every day, the need is so different. I hardly think about Krishna that, you're my Lord, I just want shelter. I was just trying to connect the two, and, I could be chanting for eternity, but till I have that mood of real surrender, I think my chanting is, there's no use of that kind of a chanting. I was just trying to connect with Hare Krishna.
Yes, fantastic. I had no idea there was an actual study. I have to find out more about that from you. I'd like to hear that. Please go ahead, Prema and Premi.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.
Yeah, I was thinking in the beginning when you start reading in the Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna says in the 9th chapter, text 22, Ananyas Chintayantamam, how he gives you what you lack and preserve what you have. And by chanting and by going deeper in our Japa, we can realize that always what happened in our life is something special, that Krishna, like you said, like you used to say, that it's like something like fit as our own size, like tuning karma. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us of that verse. Krishna himself says that so clearly. Ananyaschintayantamam yejana paripasate tesham nityabdyuktanam yogakshemam bahamyaham. Really, just feel free to absorb your full consciousness in me, because if you do so, you don't have to worry about anything else. I'll take care of it. It's an amazing statement for those who are just ananyaschintayam, without any other consideration. You just give yourself to me in devotion, then I will be there. I'll take care of all the other needs. Whatever is necessary, I'll carry it up. That really matches with the theme for today. Nice. I saw Devavrata, but now I don't see him.
Hare Krishna,
That's
Guru
not good.
Maharaj.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
I was just, I wanted to relate a story I was reading in the Radha Damodar Vilas this week. There's this devotee that wanted to really travel with Vishnu Jan Maharaj. But Vishnu Jan Maharaj, he could kind of sense that the devotee just like wanted a friend. And so Vishnu Jan Maharaj kind of just said, you know, what you really want is a best friend. And Krishna will be your best friend. So I was just thinking, you know, chanting is the time we just come together with our best friend.
Yeah, and remarkably, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada writes about how one becomes Krishna's friend. It's nothing you would think of in an esoteric way. He says, if you distribute Krishna consciousness to others, then you naturally become Krishna's friend. You develop that friendship. It's a very practical point. Like you become Krishna's friend by doing his work for him. And then he says, okay, you're with me, you're my friend. And then I like that too, how we can actually take shelter of our friend by chanting his holy names as well. It's what we need. Thank you very much, Devavrata.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I really like the point of that all stipulated energies are from different sources are synchronized. So I was thinking of the purport where Brahma speaks the 4 Vedas from 4 different mouths, and they come in an unsorted fashion. So Vedvyas has to unsort them and divide them into 4 Vedas. And even after reading those 4 Vedas, we can only get the 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. On the other hand, Hare Nama, Kevalam Kalo Nasya, 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 Gatiranyata, it's already unsorted, and it gives us the 5th perfection, the love of Godhead. And yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Thank you very much. Very well taken points. And this theme we find throughout our Shastras. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yavan Arta Udapani Sarvata Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanataha. All the Vedas are there. He said, but if you know what the purpose of them is, then it's just like instead of having to go from one different well to another in these small towns, they have wells. And each one of them, you know better than me, all of you Brahmanas, you have to go from one to the next in order to use each one for their specific purpose, right? Did some of you grow up in a village and you had to do this? No? Anyone? And so Krishna says, if you have a river going through, then you don't need all of these wells. It's not necessary. So in the same way, if you know the purpose behind the Vedas, then you can derive all the stipulated energy. So we see in the Kali Santaranu Upanishad, this hidden gem that mentions iti sodaksaka nam kali kalmashanashanam. It mentions the Mahamantra by name, and then sarva vedishu drishyate. If you know what to look for in the Vedas, sarva vedishu, in all the Vedas, if drishyate, if you have a clear way of knowing what to look for, then you can take this mantra. You'll know that this is the pinnacle, that everything that you're looking for from all the other wells, all the other sources, you get right in this one place. Same thing, Srimad Bhagavatam. It's consolidating, it's mentioning that Narada to Vyasadeva, that you don't have to do all this karma kanda, all this gyan, everything else, everything's there contained within bhakti. Why aren't you teaching this? Yes, we have, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Krishna, yes.
So I really like the point about the chakra you mentioned. Many people ask us in the Sankirtan, does this talk about chakras? So, when you said chanting helps in rearranging the chakra and everything, maybe we can make a line and give it out like that in our books. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Supreme Lord gives life to every living being and is situated within the heart, along with the life air and primal sound vibration. The Lord can be perceived in his subtle form within the heart by one's mind. Since the Lord controls the minds of everyone, even great demigods like Lord Shiva, the Supreme Lord also assumes a gross form as the various sounds of the Vedas, composed of short and long vowels and consonants in different intonations. When sticks of kindling wood are vigorously rubbed together, heat is produced by contact with air, and a spark of fire appears. Once the fire is kindled, ghee is added and the fire blazes. Similarly, I become manifest in the sound vibration of the Vedas. And there's a verse near that one that I'll produce for you later, in which Krishna talks to Uddhava about how the sound vibration of Omkar there is resonating within the heart chakra. It's anahata, or unstruck sound. But when you vibrate the syllable with your vocal cords, then it resonates with that. And then it begins to externally manifest. The internal vibration becomes externalized. And of course, Krishna's manifestation becomes available, all through the sound vibration. Last verse is Narada says, Iti murtya abhidanena mantra murtim amurtikam yadyate yagyapurusham sasam yag darshana puman. He confirms this in 5th chapter of 1st canto of Bhagavatam, that if you want the full darshan of Krishna, you want to see Krishna directly, then the mantra is the process through which you can see Krishna directly. Iti murtyabhidanena mantra murtam amurtikam. And it's amurtikam, it's not difficult. Murti means difficulty. So it's amurtikam. And it's not that you get partial or it's some representation. He said fully directly, everything is complete. You see Krishna through the mantra.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Danavari.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I like the point, the example of well, different well. I grew up in a village, so I used to go to different wells to see which one has a good water. And so I like that, the analogy that we don't have to go different wells. We just get one perfect chanting process, that we don't have to go everywhere and to different Vedas or whatever. The way I understood, I could be wrong, but just chanting can be sufficient, so we don't have to go anywhere else.
You have understand perfectly correctly, and thank you for verifying this concept of going to various wells within a village. We'll call on you for other village analogies in the future. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, look, Avantika has her hand up.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So yesterday I was really thinking about the idea of acceptance and how much we chase acceptance in like all aspects and pursuits of our life. Like for me right now, college decisions are coming in. So I guess that's also like a form of chasing acceptance. And also from like other people in our life, we're always like seeking after their love and attention. And I guess this doesn't apply for me, but like people who are applying for jobs and stuff, you're waiting for the company to accept you. And I was thinking how beautiful the idea is that Krishna has been waiting since time immemorial for us to accept him. And the fact that he is self-sufficient, fully opulent, and he's the one actually waiting on us to accept him, not the other way around. And I thought that idea was very, very beautiful, and reminded me like how loving our Lord is and how patient he's been in our heart. And he never pushes us to do anything beyond our capacity. And like, in fact, he loves us so much that he's actually the source of forgetfulness. And like he loves us so much that he's allowing us to forget him. And that whole idea was just really special and reminded me like why we should love Krishna.
Phew, that was fantastic. Thank you very much for spending your time thinking about such things and then bringing them out. I just mentioned in coordination with that whenever we've read that section of the Bhagavatamrita where Gopakumar reaches Vrindavan and meets Krishna, it's visceral that the devotees become emotional. I always notice it. You just retell the story, and I think it's in the essence of it is what you were just saying, that Krishna, when we realize actually he's waiting for us, it's not that we're waiting for him. He's always there, and he wants us back more than we can desire. That's an overwhelming feeling, and it gets manifest, I know, in that story. Thank you for bringing it out. It's very powerful. Well, we're very lucky we've had the opportunity to chant Japa in a circle. We're going to continue with the Krishna Katha in just about 15 minutes. And please feel free to stay on this Zoom or come back as you wish. I'll be back here at about 22 minutes after the hour. Thank you very much, everybody. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Vanchakopadrishya, Kripasanave, Vacha Patitanam, Pavanibhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha, Nantakoti Vaishnava.